Okay, good morning. So I guess you've all had a chance to express yourselves in the essay on what you make of all this. So today is our last day in the causal theory of reference, and I'm just going to, in the first two sections today, wrap up on some relatively technical things about causal chains and informative identities, and then I want to look a bit at the broader implications of this. There's something about a causal theory of representation that really changes, it really affects your picture of the relation of the mind to your knowledge of your surroundings. I want to try and catch some of that in the last section today. I've been trying to restructure the class quite a bit, and after moving all the pieces around quite a lot, I realised that there are actually quite good reasons for keeping it the way it is. So not for the first time. Okay, so on Friday we'll go on to Putnam's article, Brains in a Vat. Okay, okay. Oh boy, okay. Brains in a Vat on Friday. Okay, so where we got to last time, we were talking about the function of language and why you want a language at all, and maybe the basic function of a language is to let you transmit knowledge from speaker to hearer. Then if you're thinking of reference in that context, reference in the context of having a system that you can use to transmit knowledge about the things in your surroundings, then what reference to the object is going to require is that usually if you're going to refer to the object, that's the same thing as being in a position to transmit knowledge about that object. And if you think that knowledge is a causal notion, that in general knowledge of the object requires that you be causally connected to it, then that's just going to imply that reference to the object demands that you be causally hooked up to it. There'll be a causal connection between the thing and you. So putting that round the other way, reference to the object is going to require a causal connection to the object in virtue of which you're in a position to transmit knowledge of the object. And obviously not any kind of causal connection is going to do for knowledge. I mean, if you just hit me with a baseball bat, then you will make a big impact on me causally, but I won't thereby be in a position to refer to you, if you see what I mean. Yep, I mean, I'll be unconscious. So not any kind of causal connection is going to be good for reference. So this suggests that the kind of causal connection that's going to matter for reference is one in virtue of which you're in a position to transmit knowledge of the object. Evans's formulation was that the item you're trying to refer to is the item that's a dominant source of your associated body of information. So the idea there was there might be two objects, one of which is your dominant source, the other of which is getting some information into the pool of information you associate with a term, but it's not the dominant source. That's the model of that Napoleon example, is whoever's the dominant source of the information you associate with a term, that's the one you're referring to. Or I tried to give a photograph of two different people where you're mostly getting information about one of them, but some information from the other is getting in there. You'd say that's really a photo of the person who's the dominant source of the information in the photo. So in the case of perception, the dominant source of your current perceptual information, that will be the object that you're seeing. So you can refer in perception using terms like this table or that table. But if you think a little bit further about the way it goes in perception, if you take a term like this table or that person, then when you or I are looking at the table, there's a whole bunch of things that are actually causally involved in perception of it. For example, there's the sun, right? Our friend Mr. Sun is involved here because it is light rays from the sun that are bouncing off the table and striking your retina. The window is involved because if it wasn't for the window, then there couldn't be that causal process of the light getting in. The lamp overhead may be causally involved. There may be lots of stuff, lots of things that are causally involved in the generation of your perception, but you wouldn't say just as you look at the table that you are seeing the sun, or that puts you in a position to refer to the sun. The lighting might be kind of hidden, so you don't even know where the lamps are, you don't know what the illuminants are. So those things are causally involved, but you're not seeing them or in a position to refer to them. And when Evans talks about dominant source, it's not obvious that that really helps sort out why that is. And why is the causal connection that matters the one between you and the table, rather than the one between you and the sun? Every bit of information that you get from the table, well, the sun is causally implicated in you getting that information. You see what I mean? So just saying it's the one that's involved in generating most of the information doesn't disentangle the sun and the table. Have I stated that plainly? And you see there's a problem here that we want to specify more exactly which causal connections matter for reference and which don't. Solutions? It's not that hard, frankly, as you'll see in a moment, yes. Dominant source. Yeah, dominant source. Well, the thing about that is, it depends exactly what you mean by dominant source. But in the face of it, it sounds like something like quantity matters. Yeah. But the table is involved in you getting lots of information. But every bit of information you're getting from the table, if it's only the sun that's allowing you to see the table, then the sun is causally involved in generating every bit of information that the table is involved in generating. So it's not clear why the table rather than the sun counts as dominant. It's not just quantity of information being generated. You see what I mean? Yeah. Yes. There must be something right about that, yeah. And that's very intuitive. You're focusing on the table in a way that you're not focusing on the sun. Yeah. But the trouble is to spell that out a bit. But I agree that's the intuitive answer to this puzzle. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. The sun could be replaced with a lamp. That's really an interesting idea. It depends what you mean by replace, though. I mean, if the table was replaced by a duplicate, yeah, then I don't know. In some sense, things would go on as before. If the sun was replaced by a duplicate, all right. But if the sun was just taken away, you wouldn't be able to see anything at all. Yeah. Right, if you take away the sun, you won't see the table at all. Yeah, they're both involved. You see what I mean? Yeah. The causal immediacy of the table. Yeah, the sun was way downstream of the table, yeah. Yeah, that too is an interesting idea. I mean, but what about our old friend the mirror? The unexpected mirror that you don't realise is there? Yeah. reflection, yeah, right. But if I've got the mirror here, right, the unexpected mirror, then it's causally in between you and me, yes? But I don't even realize there's such a thing there. But I can see you in the mirror. If you wave to me and I wave back, I know that's not crazy because I know it's you, right? I see the reflection. Yeah, I was trying to wave to you, if you see what I mean. I see you reflected in the mirror. Yeah. Okay, one last, yeah. I'm sorry, let me make sure. I think this is interesting, and all of these ideas are chipping away. Figure ground, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there is a bit like that focusing idea. It's when the thing is lifted out for you as figure from ground, and you can choose what to focus on. Yeah. Right. Let me try this on you. So this is just stating the puzzle I just gave. There are different causal roles for the object you're seeing, the thing illuminating it, and if you see it through a telescope or through a mirror. Yeah, I see the force of saying you might just see the reflection there. It's also equally colloquial to say I saw you through the telescope and I saw you in the mirror. Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're looking at it because you want to see how you are. You don't want to see how your reflection is. You see what I mean? It's not just that you're interested in how your reflection is this morning. You see what I mean? You want to find out how you are. Okay, so what about this? I mean, I don't know that there's a comprehensive answer to the puzzle, but something like when you're making a judgment about the table and you're saying the table's brown or the table's rectangular, then you're responsive to the brownness or rectangularity of the table. You see what I mean? Whereas you can't make a judgment like that about the sun just by looking at the table. You see what I mean? And actually, there's a range of characteristics the table has. How big it is, just where it is. There's a stack of things you can find out. Is it shiny? Is it matte? There's a stack of things you can find out about the table just by looking. But you can't really do that with the sun just by looking at the table. So there's some sense in which your verbal reports about the table are differentially sensitive to the characteristics of the table, but they're not differentially sensitive to the characteristics of the sun. If the sun turns up or turns down, then you can see the table, better or worse, but you're not varying your judgments about how the sun is. Yep. Flawed visual perception. Yep. Very good. Okay, so this way of putting it implies that perception is always accurate, yeah, which is probably a bit too strong. Yeah, right. For trained philosophers who live in the world of hallucination and illusion, madness and so on. Right. Okay, but I make the following claim: in ordinary perception, if you're going to be able to talk about the cup at all, it's got to be pretty much the way it looks. What I mean is, if I seem to see a badger there, yeah, then that's not. It's not that I'm looking. I mean, I see the cup all right, but I'm just having some illusions as to what. Yeah, it's not like straight or curved. Yeah, straight or curved are pretty. How should I say? They're pretty subtle distinctions compared to that kind of thing. Yeah. If it really looks like a badger, then that's a hallucination. I'm not seeing the thing at all. I'm not able to refer to it. So unless I'm getting it mostly right about the thing, yeah, the thing I'm seeing in the distance, all right, straight or curved is one thing, but roughly what size, what kind of thing? Yeah. Is it a fleet of aircraft or is it a car? Yeah, an elephant? Right. Vision can't be completely neutral about these things and still leave you in a position to refer to the thing. Yep. Yep. Yes. Well, we have some ability to keep track of objects perceptually through changes in their characteristics. What I mean is, just as a person waves their arms and so on, right, there's change in the position. Well, I can demonstrate this for you now, right? There's change in the position of the arms, but you have no trouble keeping track of the object through those changes. Yeah? Whereas some changes in an object, you have trouble keeping track of the object through those changes. Yeah? So with the case of the flowers over a period of days, yeah, it seems to be the spectrum of cases there. If you're just looking at a bunch of flowers and they're, let's say, withering before your eyes, or just waving in the breeze, then they're changing all right, but you have no trouble keeping track of them. So you don't need an identity judgment. That's the same flowers again. Yeah. But sometimes you do. I mean, if you come back after a period of days and they're all changed colour, then you really might be a bit puzzled. Have they been replaced or what? Yeah. Yeah. I'll say more about that kind of case in just a moment. Yeah. Yep. Very good. Let me give you another. Can I put that and hold this just a second? Because I want to give an example. I think maybe an example just like that. Okay, and then come back. So you see how this works for proper names. But if you get all your information about Sally down a telephone line, I keep telling you about Sally, then I'm implicated. The telephone line is causally implicated. But the role that's causal connection that Sally plays is different because it's Sally's various characteristics that are responsible for all the judgments you make using that term. Whereas variations in the telephone line don't make a difference as to whether you're going to say that Sally is tall or not. That's okay. Yeah. There's something systematic about the role that Sally plays in that kind of case at the telephone line, or your informant don't play. But this is what I think might be an example of what Dylan was talking about. Suppose we go back to our old friend, the sinister Gödel. So when you're making your judgments about Gödel, you might say, well, look, my judgments about Gödel are all about the theorems that he proved and the proofs he gave of them. So I make judgments about how innovative Gödel's use of recursion theory was. And that is actually systematically reflecting what Schmidt did. You remember the story? Yeah. The Schmidt did the proofing. Okay. But then my judgments about Gödel, using the name Gödel, are systematically varying with what Schmidt did. You see what I mean? Is that your kind of case? Yeah. So why are we going to say, I mean, isn't this guy, right? Isn't this guy really just the conduit through which all these different characteristics of Schmidt, the mathematician, came to be causally affecting our verbal judgments? And in that case, when we say Gödel, we'd be referring to Schmidt. That's the wrong answer, because Gödel stole the credit. You see what I mean? And that is Dylan's kind of case. Do you want to supplement that with another case? You're talking about reflections.
Yeah, I think this is, I mean, another case of the same sort.
Yeah, so this is a case where Schmidt, as it were, stands behind Gödel. So here you have Gödel, here you have Schmidt, and here you have the verbal reports. Yeah, and Schmidt's causing Gödel to talk, and Gödel's causing our verbal reports. But we're differentially sensitive to the characteristics of Schmidt, who we're talking about the mass. And your kind of case was one where you've got Gödel, you've got a mirror reflection of Gödel, and that's causing the verbal reports. Yeah, and you might say, well, we're systematically sensitive to what's going on in the mirror. Yeah, yeah, these are puzzling cases. You might say, well, this is Kripke's revenge. This is where Kripke comes back in, because really, to look at this, it's not you can't address this kind of distinction in terms of dominant source or differential sensitivity, because they're equally dominant, they're equally differentially systematically sensitive. So you've got to actually look at the details of the chain, and in this case say, but there was some funny business here, if you see what I mean, when Gödel stole the credit, that blocks the reference from going all the way back to Schmidt, or the mirror reflection is somehow transparent in a way that means that the reference does go all the way back to Gödel here. So Kripke might say, well, this just means we've got to look back at this historical stuff that Evans was saying, forget about that. You see what I mean? Yeah. This is a homework exercise. I don't have a crisp sorting out of this yet. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Suppose you take the Napoleon case where the swap over happened very late. Right? Is that the kind of case you're thinking of? Okay. So we've got as you put this mature, the mature impostor takes over very late. The thing is, in the Gödel-Schmidt case, Gödel is really transparently transmitting, conducting all these characteristics of Schmidt, because whatever Schmidt does, Gödel just does that, replicates that in his proof. Yeah. So when we make the verbal judgments as to what we say Gödel was doing in his proof, we are actually causally sensitive to what this guy was doing. Yeah. In the Napoleon case, there's the impostor and there's the emperor, the mid-period emperor, yeah. And there are verbal reports, and they're being caused by the late impostor and the mid-period emperor, but one's not acting as a conduit for the other. You see what I mean? It seems to be a difference. Unless maybe reading it some different way, but my picture is that here you're getting a lot of information from this guy coming down here, and here you're just getting a little bit of information from this guy coming down here, and that's what makes the distinction. You don't have that same kind of sneaky kind of structure as you do here. Yeah. Yep. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's very good. Yeah. If you're going to say it's a way of transmitting knowledge of the thing, yeah. So let's take that very seriously. And now you've got Gödel, who you've got this figure who is an impostor, a fantasist, one of the flotsam and jetsam of Vienna early last century. Yep. And what he's doing is he's hijacking the sober, serious mathematician stuff and projecting this fantasy onto it. Yep. And then you say, well, is he a reliable source? No, he's not a reliable source. He's the kind of guy who goes around pinching mathematicians' ideas. Yeah. So although he might actually have just written it all down, so in fact it's all just the same way as Schmidt had it, he's not a reliable source. So you can't get knowledge of what Schmidt was doing from this. So you could get knowledge of what Gödel is doing from this chain. So although this is a causal chain, all right, back here from Schmidt to Gödel, it's not, how should I say, epistemic. It's not. It doesn't have to do. It's not a chain through which we can get knowledge. Right? You see what I mean? So that's lost here. But this bit of the chain we do get knowledge, and that's why we'd say we're referring to Gödel rather than Schmidt. Yeah. That's really powerful. I think there's something right about that. I think from an Evans point of view, there's something about this though that is it's against the thrust of Evans' account. Evans' idea. So this is a very good way of there's something peculiar about the causal chain going through back through Gödel to Schmidt, in virtue of which you're differentially sensitive to Schmidt's characteristics. Yeah, it's not the right kind of causal connection to give you knowledge. Evans, I think, when he's just talking about the dominant source of your current information, the idea was forget all that stuff about going back into history. So it's alien to the spirit of Evans' account. And I think within Evans' own account, you'd have to be saying something like, look, what we know about Gödel is, after all, not just the mathematics. What we know about Gödel is something about where he was born, was he married, where did he live, did he have children? You have this picture of someone with a life, and the mathematics is just a little bit of the life. With all due respect. And what matters is that Gödel was contributing, covering